Hey guys, Ronin Time HD here, and welcome to Quick Quips with Steven Seagal. This time, Steven Seagal is against the dark.
Vampire hunters.
Ex-military guys who were trained to kill.
Led by a master swordsman.
We're here to decide who lives and dies.
Will stop at nothing to save the human race. Steven Seagal against the dark.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going hunting.
So guys, today we watched a very shitty Steven Seagal movie from 2009 called Against the Dark. And he's not in it very much, but of course, since it's a Steven Seagal movie, he's on the front and he's the top billing, even though he was barely in it. And he wasn't even really the main character, so... And The Rock's cousin is there, too. Because why not? Keith David's there, because in every Steven Seagal movie, you have to have an actual good actor compensate for the bad acting that Steven Seagal brings. But, this time it was Keith David. And also, unfortunately, he was barely in it, too, so... But anyway, this movie is a mutant vampire zombie thing, like, virus, where the people, they're like diseased and they're infected, but they're not like mindless, you know. They're like, they talk and they like actually have plans. They trap people that never work. In the movie, their traps never work, so they're not the brightest still, but they try their best, and you should give them credit because they're trying. So yeah, it takes place in a post-apocalyptic, like, virus-ridden world and all that jazz. So, you got these people, and they're going into a hospital, and they're survivors. Like, there's a big exposition at the beginning explaining, like, the virus and its effect on the planet and what have you, like, the survivors, what they do. But then, it shows, like, the hunters, the people that make groups, and the people that fortify themselves in big buildings. So then they're going into a hospital, and they're roaming around the hospital for a little bit, and then there's these two other people named Morgan and Dorothy, or whatever her name was. They're there, too, and then they meet up. And then they're the little group, and then they start doing shit all around the hospital until Steven Seagal and his group arrive, and then they try to get the people out. They were sent by the army. They were kind of like... sent by the army, and then the army's like, no, we lost track, so we're just gonna fucking bomb the hospital. And they do that, but then the people get out at the end, and a few of them die near the end of the movie, and that's pretty much it. Well, yeah, so, like, like, the stupidest part about this movie is that the two people are in the hospital, right? And these people just entered in the hospital, and they want to get out of the hospital. How many times am I gonna say hospital in this review? So they go in the hospital, and these two people in the hospital, they meet up, and then they go through the hospital to get out of the hospital, and they could have just backtracked and got out of the hospital via the window. They spend the entire movie trying to get out of the hospital when they had a chance to get out of the hospital at the beginning of the movie, when they just got into the hospital. So when they got into the hospital, they could have gotten out of the hospital, and they just entered the hospital. Is that how many times I said a hospital? I don't know, it doesn't matter. You know how many hospitals I've said in that sentence? I don't fucking know, maybe you can count.
You said hospital almost as many times as they showed the establishing shot of the hospital.
You know, I said hospital as many times as they show an establishing shot of the hospital. Only you see the movie if you want to see it. Ha! Oh yeah, every fucking, like... It feels like a TV movie, like, literally. There's, like, a lot of points in this movie where you switch back to the military, right? You switch to the military, and they're doing something, they're like, survivors, bomb the fucking hospital. And then when it cuts back to the hospital, every time, it's the same fucking establishing shot of the hospital. And if it's a different time of day, it doesn't matter, because it's the same fucking shot. So it's nighttime, and it's supposed to be fucking dawn! And it's dumb. And then it's like, how else are we gonna know what's in the hospital when the entire fucking movie they've been in the hospital? Shit, movie, I wouldn't have guessed that the protagonists were in a fucking hospital. It's not like the movie started off with them going into a fucking hospital. You never know if with those establishing shots. They were integral to the movie, you know? Without those, you would be completely lost in this movie's incredibly intricate and depth plot. Watch this movie. You know, the few things that I think about this movie is trash, garbo, not good, scream, fire, dumpster, washed up actors. I don't think anybody should watch this movie for their mental and physical health, to be honest. If you're a Steven Seagal fan, man, just stick to the old shit. Stick to, like, the 90s and the 80s shit. Maybe even the early 2000s shit, man. He's like the fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in this shit, man. He's a fucking fat motherfucker, and he's taking out fucking mutant, zombie, alien, vampire, whatever. You know, one more thing I have to say about this movie is that there was a part in the movie where he was carrying around his sword. No, there was, like, throughout the whole movie, as he was walking through this hospital with his gang of people wearing leather jackets in my attire, as you can see. But he was walking around in his leather jacket with a fucking sword when he didn't need it at all. He was just walking through a hallway. And then in the one part of the movie where he needed it, he had it sheathed, and he just used his little karambit or whatever, his little knife. It's like, yeah, dude, you could use your sword there, but nah, I'm gonna use my knife. Doo-doo. This movie is doo-doo. Don't watch it. This movie is really doo-doo. It's garbo, it's a dumpster fire, it's trash, it's not good, it's awful, it's terrible, it's not good. It's all the things to say bad about movie. Not good, don't watch it. I didn't expect this movie to be a horror movie because I just expected every single part of his filmography to be just a shitty action movie. And yeah, that's what they mostly are, but this is an outlier. And Steven, for the love of God, don't make another one. Okay, I'm gonna give the 3 ratings like I always do. I'm gonna give you the real movie rating, 2 out of 10. Real movie rating, terrible. There's like almost nothing of substance. The only reason to watch it is to see how terrible it is, if you're curious. This is the worst Steven Seagal movie I've seen so far, and I'm gonna trust myself in saying it's only gonna go downhill from here. And also let's go to the ironic enjoyment rating. Honestly, I think this movie isn't even that enjoyable on an ironic scale. So I think this is like a 3 out of 10 on the ironic scale. Just 1 score up. Like, this was not fun. Like, the reason it's not even like high on the ironic scale, or I'm gonna say the Steven Seagal scale is also a 2. They're all 2. Like, all the ratings are a 2. Like, because it's not fun. Like, you know how fucking every single other Steven Seagal movie from the 90s and the 80s and the early 2000s, they're fun because they're stupid and they're like, they have charm to it. This has no charm. It's absolutely soulless. And Steven Seagal has clearly already washed up on shore when this film came out, alright? Like, he's a beached fucking whale. And even, like, not just in theoretically, but figuratively, too, because that's literally, because he's a big fat man. Big, round man. Round like a Russian potato. So, ironic 2, real 2, Steven 2. All a 2, 2, it's a 2, 2, 2. Yeah. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I have been Ronan Time HD. You've been watching Quick Quips with Steven Seagal. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like it. You leave a comment. And thanks for stopping by. And Steven Seagal has been Against the Dark. It's only gonna get worse from here, buddy. I'm promising you that. Against the Dark.